I'm Robin Clevitt. I'm here today to show you the Citroen Relay Enterprise van. This is a big van. I like big vans and this is my take on it. So one of the first things I like to do when I'm out in the market for a van is look at the space. It's what it's all about for me. It's what can I get in there? How is it going to make my life easier? Let's have a look. Well, I'm not going to struggle with a van like this. This is a particularly long van. It's perfect. In fact, I can get a 3.7 metre timber on the base of this van, which is absolutely fantastic. So you can see it's cavernous. So I wanted to check for myself, and it really is 3.7 metres. You're never going to struggle with a van like this. Now, this isn't the longest van they do. They actually do one which measures 4.07 metres in the back. So if 3.7 is not enough for you, then maybe consider that van as well. So one thing I like to do is configure the insides of my vans to take my tools and take my materials. I would always box in my wheel arches, but beware, some vans when you box them in, you cannot slide a standard sheet in. What am I talking about? It's a plywood board, it's 4 foot by 8 foot or 2.44 by 1.22, but in the Relay, you have got acres of space, even if they are boxed in, to still get your standard sheets slid in. The Relay that I'm standing in is 1.93 tall, which is ample for me. But if you're a little bit taller or you need that extra bit of space, they do one which is 2.17. By the touch of a button, I can flare out the doors, and this makes loading particularly easy, or unloading indeed. When I'm at the builders merchants, I can say stick a pack of bricks straight in the back and they can just post it in the back. The forklift can maneuver safely and you're not going to ruin your doors. So my first impressions are, it's actually got some really nice looking refinement in here. It feels really comfortable. Most vans, big vans, feel like vans, but actually when you get in the cab here, it feels quite comfortable, it feels like a car. So the Citroen Relay Enterprise spec comes with some really nice stuff as standard, and I'll just give you the headlines. We've got a touchscreen DAB radio with built-in Sat Nav. We've got air conditioning, we've even got cruise control, and we've also got rear parking sensors, as you'd expect on a vehicle as big as this. Just like you guys, I spend so much time in a van. I carry everything in the van. I carry plenty of drawings, and the Citroen Relay has got these great clipboards I found, so I can stick a drawing up here, a drawing of a roof, which is not unusual for me. And then hidden in here in the seat, there is another clipboard, and this one here is particularly nice because you can get your drawing on there and a can of pop behind it. So you can adjust this seat in many ways, obviously forwards and backwards, but I can also adjust the pitch in 2 different directions. And what's really nice for us guys in the trade, we sometimes get bad backs. You can do the lumbar on this van as well, which for me is really important. So it's really important for me that I can adjust the steering column. Even if I'm just spending time here, I want to push it out of the way and do a bit of paperwork. This is my drive, my first drive in the Citroen Relay Enterprise, and as I said, really comfortable. I like the fact the gear stick is out the way, so if you've got a couple of guys on board, you're not clattering knees when you're changing gear. Off we go. Even though this is what you'd call a big van, once you're in here, once you're in the cab and you're driving, you really just forget about the size. 6-speed manual gearbox, and as for power, well, we've got 140 brake horsepower. There's a slightly less powered version, which is 120, which I'd imagine is still pretty good. Quiet, not a lot of noise from outside. The steering wheel has everything you need on it. So it's a Bluetooth that you can scroll through and do all of the functions on the steering wheel without glancing at your screen there. A nice bit of acceleration. The built-in Sat Nav is a great little addition, and as a standard feature on this model, I think that's pretty cool. Let me see what the turning circle's like. Let's see if I can get a full turn in the width of this track. It's tight. It's really tight. It's like a cab, like a black taxi. Okay, so I'm reversing up against something now. It's an audible Yeah, that's quite nice. It's a very comfortable van, the heaters is perfect. I could do a long journey on this, there's no doubt about that. To be honest with you, I'm no motoring journalist, I'm a carpenter as you all know, but it's a particularly good van, and value for money, if you say value for money for what you got compared to what I spent on my van, it's a 10 out of 10. But my van's got heated seats, so I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10.
Citroën.